Taurus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for October 3rd through the 9th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Taurus, this week we have a lot going on astrologically speaking. The most important event we've got here is that Saturn is going to be squaring up to the North Node. So this is collectively important because we're talking about two outer planets. However, with this, the North Node is usually under the surface. We don't typically feel it very personally. So what I'm about to say is about the life path. It's sort of the unfoldment of things, which has to do with, first of all, Saturn, who's been transitioning into your 7th house, which this aspect of it has been personal. This has been about taking seriously your relationships and taking seriously partnerships, working with others, cooperation. A lot of you are also seeing some maybe notoriety or things moving forward with your career in a big picture sense over these surrounding years, which can be good as Saturn makes his way to the top of the chart. But all in all, I think it's great to be disciplined, be patient, and continue to work towards whatever these relationships or partnerships might be for you. Now, the not personal side to this is that the life path has been pushing you towards cultivating your roots right now, cultivating your home, your family, your health. And so these are excellent areas to challenge yourself this week as well, along with those relationships, and maybe see how they can be incorporated. How can you perhaps develop some of those relationships with your family, perhaps, or those that you have a close tie with, often cases with the 4th house, and also too where you can take seriously that health and developing your connection with your body, your relationship with your own body and what your body has to say. So that's a great way of working with it, but I think all in all, just taking whatever actions are necessary this week to establish your roots. And these are often new roots, so it could be new family, new home, new location, some of you, new health. So an excellent week for that, and anything that does have to do with patience, discipline, can be good to channel into that area. Now, when something squares the North Node, it also squares the South Node. So in this case, the South Node has been helping you release old patterns that have to do with your productive life, okay, or your career or community stuff. So if you feel like there's some old patterns here, some unhealthy patterns, typically with the South Node, imbalances, extremes, it's a great week to challenge yourself to release those patterns, to break those patterns that you might be aware of that are unhealthy there, that might have to do with that 10th house. So it could be career for some of you, could be your public life, could be productive, etc. All right, so that's the most important event this week, but there is a lot going on. Venus is going to be sextiling up to the North Node at the beginning. So this being your ruler, there could be perhaps a bit of an opening or opportunity here to cultivate those roots, home, family, and health. Venus, your ruler, actually is going to be shifting into Libra right at the beginning of the week. So she's actually going into dignity in Libra. So very nice here to have a ruler in a good placed sign. Now, this is your 6th house, so I think you can find that maybe you're enjoying a bit of the work, a bit of the routine, maybe personal development, anything that has to do with improving things, improving yourself, developing your crafts at work, helping others improve, etc. All of that can be very. I think that's going to make a sort of theme for you here for the next few weeks. Now, the theme is also about your self-expression, which has been the sun, this whole lunar cycle, and Jupiter, and now Mercury shifting into your 5th. So the 5th house is about self-expression. And I think it's an excellent time to be focused on your self-expression, to cultivate that in this lunar cycle. There should be opportunities to do that, whether they're creative, whether they're, whatever the medium might be. And it could also be cultivating those things that are close to your heart, those things you enjoy in life, and maybe hobbies, interests, things like that. So as you continue to focus on your self-expression this week, I think you'll continue to see opportunities there. I think there's a good creative thinking to your mind with Mercury exalted in Virgo for the next month plus, with Mercury in your 5th. And yeah, cultivating these new beginnings with that. So definitely an emphasis here on your 5th house, which is that self-expression, and also the 6th, which is that personal development and your work. Now, also earlier this week, the sun will be sextiling up to Saturn here around Tuesday. So again, maybe some good productive energy there for you to express yourself and cultivate anything that you might be creating here today. Now, another very important aspect taking place this week is that Mars is going to be squaring up to Jupiter. So with this one, collectively, there sometimes can be a bit of an extreme with the Mars energy. Lots of desires, lots of confidence, sometimes overconfidence with Jupiter, exuberance, and feeling like we can maybe accomplish more than we actually can, or maybe the inverse. Maybe it's not enough energy, not enough confidence or pessimism. So it's very important this week to be balanced with our desires, to be balanced with what we can or cannot achieve in whatever the time frame might be, and to just be sort of balanced and realistic and grounded when it comes to those inspirations. Now, I think the inspirations are going to be there. They may pendulate, they may go up and down a bit collectively, but if you do feel the inspiration, this is an excellent week to channel that constructively, because that's what the square emphasizes. It emphasizes action, emphasizes building things. And so if you have that inspiration from time to time, utilizing it, as long as everything is nice and balanced and nice and harmonious there, watching those extremes. So Mars has been in your 8th house, so there should be some good motivation and drive to connect to the deeper side to life. Maybe some opportunities to do that this week. Openness, vulnerability, deeper things such as psychology, transformation, healing. These are great places to put your energy this week, and anything that does have to do with shared resources, others' resources, and all of that, also good to stay nice and balanced with. And likewise, you could have a bit of this motivation towards expressing yourself this week, or creating some things, and again, constructively, that can be a very good energy to work with. Now, Venus will be sextiling up to Pluto around that same time here on Wednesday, so your ruler sextiling Pluto could be good for change, could be feeling quite deep. Maybe it's a good productive time for you there with the work, with the routine, with the personal development, maybe making some change with that. I think that's a opening, just a gateway, but with a ruler can be significant. Now, the last aspect of this week will be on Friday going into the weekend. The sun will be squaring up to Pluto. So collectively, again, it's important to keep things nice and balanced with these squares. We may feel the extreme of Pluto, which can be wanting to control things, wanting to possess things, and this might have to do with, again, that self-expression. So although there's a lot of positive energy for you with this self-expression, I think with these aspects, keeping everything nice and cool, everything nice and balanced when it comes to whatever it is you're focused on, particularly this later part of the week. And in that way, again, it's a great time for change through that constructive willingness to see things in a deeper way, to express yourself in a deeper way, but with that balance. All right, so that's the week in a nutshell. Definitely an emphasis on this Saturn squaring up to the North Node on the life path this week. Can be significant collectively. For you personally, could have to do with your home, your family, your location, your health. Putting constructive energy into that can be great. Also developing those relationships, as it has been important. And good energy there with your self-expression, and things certainly shifting towards more of the personal development. Some of your work, some of your daily routine, your health, your diet, all of that is certainly shifting for you. All right, so Taurus, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week.